Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. A few years ago now, I did a series on mushrooms. It is a favorite project of a lot of woodturners, but and I had this piece of very unusual shaggy bark birch laying around. I said, well, why can't I make a mushroom out of that? But the other problem that I had with mushrooms with my previous series is that I like a large cap and a small base, and they're pretty tipsy. A friend of mine just does elongates the bottom and puts a spike on it and makes it an outside mushroom to go in his garden. Great idea, by the way, but if you want it inside, you have to do something else. Well, I took just a little bit, another piece of that shaggy bark and said, okay, let's make that a base, and then a stem that fits in it, and oh, well, why? Wait a minute, it's not one piece. Yes, I think two pieces are a little bit easier because I don't have to get a tool into this very dangerous section down here, and I have a crisp joint between the stem and the top. So this is actually a two, and with the base, three-piece mushroom, and I kind of like this style.
I want to keep some of the shaggy bark from this birch branch. I know that some will come off. I will have to see if there is any left at the end. I have mounted a short section between centers. With my spindle gouge, I am facing off one end. Then measure the minimum for a chuck, although later I thought this unnecessary since there will be plenty of wood removable from this end. Finally, cut a tenon that will fit my chuck jaws. Next, I am changing over to a chuck mount. I do not know what woodturners did before chucks were common. Actually, I do know, and it was a different world. This will now become the underside of the mushroom. Again, with a spindle gouge, I trim the end even, getting ready to drill a 3/4 inch hole for the stem. The trick is to drill deep enough for the stem, allowing for enough hole to remain after the bottom is shaped. Actually, until I finish the bottom, I can drill deeper, unless the hole is already too deep. Then on to hollow out the underside just a little bit. The challenge is keeping the loose, shaggy bark attached. Actually, I did drill a little deeper. To shape the top, I grab a threaded faceplate with a 3/4 inch tenon. The fit is loose, but one wrap of tape tightens it up nicely. The wood is light, it will not go far. Plus, I bring up the live center padded with a rubber stopper for insurance. Now I can shape the top. Again, the challenge is keeping the bark and still having a pleasing mushroom shape. However, there are a lot of options. No one has defined the perfect mushroom shape. When nearly finished, I pull back the live center and carefully trim the remaining area with light strokes and trying to keep any heavier cuts back towards the headstock so that the mushroom does not do any acrobatics. For the stem at the bandsaw, I cut another piece in half, then cut the sides just a little. Maybe I can have a bark edge on the stem also. The only complication here is to cut 3/4 inch tenons on both ends with a little bump in the middle. I was able to keep just a little bit of bark edge on the bump, but you will not see it unless you look very closely. No finish for this mushroom. I took the other half of the stem piece for the base. The bark edge on the base complements the mushrooms. Best of all, turning this mushroom in two pieces avoided the problem of tight quarters between the mushroom cap, which is very catch prone. Having it on a stable base removed the old tipping bias. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website, and tell your friends. I appreciate your comments and questions. Every week, I make a new woodturning video and add it to my website. Please wear your full face shield for safety anytime the lathe is running. I will see you next week with another wood turning video. By the way, taking time to count blessings prevents depression.